Very much. Let's talk about the Bank Enterprise Program. It's pretty popular in Mississippi, and it's well received by local banks and credit unions because it allows them to leverage their own assets to invest in the small businesses and the startups, which gives them the ability to support job creation and retention in areas that really need it in a lot of states. But I was really disappointed to see that the budget cuts from the Bank Enterprise Program by $11 million from the fiscal year 2022 enacted level. What were the reasons for these cuts?
Senator, let me start out by sharing your commitment to these communities where the Bank Enterprise Program has been effective in helping. And I think what we're trying to do is figure out where we can most effectively put the limited dollars that we have available to have the impact that we both care about. As you know well, in many of these communities, you have CDFIs and MDIs that are also doing business there. And what we've done, based on the funding that Congress provided us, is provide a great deal of capital to these institutions. So more than about $9 billion of capital through the Emergency Capital Investment Program went to CDFIs over the course of this year that we've placed in them. In order to make sure that that money is invested well, we've asked for additional money for the CDFI program to help monitor, but also provide resources to those institutions. I think I'm happy to talk to you about how we're thinking about this, but I think our goal largely is to make sure that we're building up an ecosystem there that is based on providing resources to those lenders, then also ensuring that we've provided support to them. So it wasn't, our goal is not to step away from these communities, but rather to try to most effectively provide funding to them going forward.
So I think you just answered, the program is oversubscribed compared to other programs because it is so popular, but how do you intend to support investments in economically distressed areas with reduced funding? I mean, you're saying you're going in another direction, and how do you expect that to compensate?
So, Senator, I think our goal is to make sure that on top of the public money that Congress has provided to these communities, that we attract private money as well. So our goal, similar to what we're doing with the Small Business Credit Initiative, is to make sure that we attract private investment into these communities, because we know that that is a sustainable way to make sure that they have the access to the resources they need. We think that we have a real opportunity to do that, working closely through our CDFI office with the money that you've already provided, and that's what we would want to do here, is to ensure that in areas where there is a need for additional capital, because all these programs are oversubscribed, that we would work to attract private capital.
And what is the status of the 2022 grants right now?
So, Senator, I'd have to get the team to provide you with an update on where we are in the grant-making process at the moment, but we haven't completed it, but I'm happy to get you to provide you with an update after this hearing.
Has it been implemented well, or, I mean, do you have any idea if it's been beneficial, or?
So my view is that, as you know well, this is a program that has been very popular and has been implemented well by staff across administrations, and that continues to be the case. I think my overarching goal is to make sure that across the suite of programs that Congress has authorized, we take your resources and we try and find creative and interesting ways to try and pull the private sector in as well, to crowd in private capital, because ultimately what we know about these communities where we have these programs right now is that they have unfortunately been starved of the type of private capital that's needed to building housing, to starting small businesses, to making sure that those small businesses can thrive. So a big push from my standpoint, from Secretary Yellen's standpoint, is what can we do to take the resources you've provided and use them in a way that attracts private capital to join them in a way that's sustainable over time.